Orlando Magic, Pink.
Yeah. I was on my way to the ale house to watch the game, and I saw it pop up, the Magic win the lottery. They got the top pick. I didn't know it was going to happen before the game started.
Yeah, man. It's not often that anyone in Orlando wins the lottery. But the Magic have found a way to do it. What's this? 3 times, right?
Fourth.
This is the 4th time.
Yeah, and to their credit, the Magic have never botched the first pick.
To be a part of this GM, be the GM and a part of this front office organization and know that the Magic have never botched the number 1 overall pick. That's some pressure, man.
It is. It's got to be. I mean, you drafted Shaq.
Yeah.
You drafted C-Webb, but turned that into Penny Hardaway.
Yeah. And
then you drafted Dwight. And so, unfortunately, for me in this draft, there's nobody approaching any one of those 3 guys. I'm sure there's going to be somebody that is terrific in this class, but I don't see that player.
Yeah.
To me, it's a tough year to have number 1. I'm not a Chet Holmgren fan. I think he's good, but I don't like him at all as a top pick. To me, he was outplayed in the summer by Victor Wembanyama, who's going to be the number 1 pick next year. And he was at Gonzaga this year, but whenever they really needed something done, it was the Drew Timme guy with the bad mustache. And again, that doesn't mean that Chet's not a good player, but it raises questions that he's the top pick. When you're drafting the top pick, the expectation is on the low end, perennial all-star, and the true aspiration is you're drafting a superstar player that's going to make you a perennial contender. And I don't see that from Chet Holmgren. The guy that our boy John Pikowicz put me on is Jabari Smith at Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
I only saw 2 games. He looked good, but not blow me away good. And then our guy that we had on the show a few weeks back, Mike O'Donnell, he likes Keegan Murray as the top pick, and he thinks it's a little bit absurd that he's not in that discussion. And this mock draft you've put on the screen has him at 4.
Right.
But
what position does he play? Do you know?
I thought he's a wing.
Yeah.
And
I'm looking at the Orlando Magic roster. And I think the only opening they have, well, we're talking about the Orlando Magic, right? So technically all of their...
That's what I was doing.
But the Magic have been drafting all of these high picks. They're, top 5, top 6, whatever, what have you. So let's look at that and then first, right? As far as fit-wise. So you have Cole Anthony, who is a 1-2. He's a swing. He's a combo guard, right?
Showed some progress this year.
He did. He showed some progress. All right. At the guard, you have Markelle Fultz as a guard, another combo guard. What are you going to do with him?
He looked good once he started playing this year after coming back from the knee.
So you have those 2. You got Terrence Ross still coming off the bench. Don't forget you just drafted Jalen Suggs. Right, so that's another combo guard.
What did you make of his rookie year?
Not much, but he's a rookie, right? So you got to give him some time. You see how he performs in his summer league, things like that, and see what you got. But those are 3 combo guards right there, and Terrence Ross, who's just a natural shooting guard, but he's coming off the bench, as we know. One of the best off-bench guards we have in the league. As far as getting buckets. All right.
No, R.J. Hampton's still on the
R.J. still on the roster. He's another combo guard.
Right.
And he's another bench guy. But he was drafted high as well. Yeah. All right. Okay. Now, those are the combo guards. They have quite a few. Now, you also have these bigs, right? You have Mo Bamba, who you drafted high.
Who showed finally some progress.
Finally. He's been hurt a lot, but he's finally showed some promise this year. You got Bol Bol on the roster. That's what he's worth. He's a deep bench guy. You have Wendell Carter, who was a draft pick. He's another big guy.
So I think Wendell's a solid NBA player, but probably, to me, in an ideal situation, a big off the bench.
Yeah. No, for sure. And then you got Lopez, who was deep off the bench as well, Robin Lopez.
Yeah. And you got the Wagner brothers.
And you got the Wagner brothers, but one hardly ever plays. And then I'm going to get to the other one when I get to the wings, right? So let's get to the wings, 3s and 4s, all right? So you got one of the Wagners who performed pretty well, France.
The one who was the rookie, Franz.
Yeah, the rookie.
He was, I guess, kind of on the outskirts of the Rookie of the Year discussion.
Yeah.
And but to me, he has some skill. He has a knack for scoring, but I don't think he's an all-star.
I don't.
I think he's a guy that again, on a good team, would be a fourth or fifth starting option, or maybe an instant offense guy off the bench.
But you do agree that he's a starter.
Well, on a really good team, he could be that sixth man that comes in and gets buckets. Almost like the Terrence Ross role if we didn't have Terrence Ross and we had a better team.
Yeah, there you go. You also have your guy, Florida State, Jonathan Isaac.
And we don't know what that means.
Still don't know.
He's played, I mean, he hasn't played in so long. Like, what is left of him?
Yeah.
Because he did have a promising moment before getting racked up with injury.
Oh, for sure.
He was sort of a modern-day, long, two-way forward that could swing between the two spots and give you defense and some scoring. And if that player's still there, that's something to behold.
No, for sure. And the rest of the guys, of course, are deep bench guys, but we will mention our guy that's on the G League team. Hassani, man, Hassani Gravitz.
Yeah.
We'll see if he gets another opportunity there in the G League to nag another 10-day contract and hopefully a big contract after that.
Shout out to Hassani because I mean he came up with all the COVID stuff.
Yeah.
And played really solid basketball.
He did, man. It's just it shows you how tough it is to really make it in the league because he performed well. You just have some guys with higher NBA stock, a higher NBA name, like as far as RJ Hampton, Gary Harris, guys like that who, from the outside looking in from us, we could say, Hassani performed better than those guys and he's better, but it's just not how the NBA works.
Right. Guaranteed money committed to some of these other guys.
Yeah, exactly.
And so forth. The biggest problem, how many guys on that roster did we essentially say showed some promise?
Two.
But no, a couple. It was like Cole Anthony, Wendell Carter,
I didn't agree on Carter, but I understand.
But I mean there's just my point in saying this is that the roster is just filled with question marks.
It is.
Like maybe none of these guys are going to be any good at all.
Yeah.
There's not enough evidence to conclusively say, hey, this guy's a really good starting player at his position.
There's only one guy on the roster we know exactly what he is, and that's Terrence Ross. Like we know what Terrence Ross is.
He's a veteran.
Yeah, he's a veteran, six man.
Yeah.
But then so when you look at these guys coming out, okay, if you have the number 1 overall pick, you assume he's going to start, right? So say if they do take Chet. Chet is what? Chet is a power right now in 2022 to 23. He's a power forward. You don't want to put him at the 5.
Probably not, yeah.
He's a power forward. Right now, the Magic is starting. We don't know what Isaac's going to come back as, right? So right now they're going to either start Wagner, or Isaac at the 4. Is that what? If Isaac comes back healthy, what do you do with that situation? You draft Chet, Isaac's healthy, ready to go.
That's the problem with this. There's no answer to that. I mean, now you may get Chet into camp and he's clearly the better guy, and if you're taking him number 1, you sure as heck hope that's the case. but you just don't know. I mean, I don't think Chet did enough this year that it was like, gosh, this guy's just an all-star in waiting, and the Magic roster is just like filled with these kind of guys that you really don't know. Now, I think this is a horrible draft for the Magic to be number 1 because literally at every position on the roster they have a kind of guy and not a whole guy, and there's no player in this draft in my estimation that's good enough that you just say we're drafting him, he's better than everything we got, and we're just going to put pieces around him and see how far we could go.
Exactly. Now as far as the guards, Jabari Smith is a guard, right?
No, he's like a 6'10" stretch forward. Like
who's a guard on this list? You have
Jaden Ivey and Keegan Murray are guards or smaller wings.
Yeah.
Banchero is sort of a big, sort of powerful 4-ish guy that can shoot.
Yeah.
He's a nice piece. I mean, I like his game. I'm not sure it's an all-star game.
Right.
Jabari Smith has kind of gotten some comparisons to Jaren Jackson at Memphis. and or even like Chris Bosh as an older parallel.
Which you don't need that. What you need a go-to scorer if you're the Magic.
Yeah.
That's what you need right now. You need a go-to wing scorer, which that's the one hole I guess you could say they do not have on the roster. I don't know if Chet provides that, but in theory he does if he can develop his game.
Well, he really doesn't, I don't think. He's a highly skilled guy, but getting his own is not the main thing that he does.
Does he compare to Porzingis more than anything?
That's a decent parallel.
Is that a decent parallel?
It's a decent parallel.
Less defense, I mean, I guess.
Well, he's got very good timing for shot blocking.
Okay.
He's a very good shot blocker, but he is like a longer, awkwardly built guy, and you're not sure, how he'll hold up. I mean, he's not going to be able to deal with
him and Mo Bamba on the court together. That'd be interesting, man.
Should
be a lot of shots blocked.
There better be a lot of shots. I mean, can they hold up defensively overall? But they should be able to block shots, and can they function offensively? Now, Bamba can shoot a little bit, and Chet can shoot a little bit. So it might be workable.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the Magic need a star.
Yeah.
And they don't have one, and I don't see one in this draft.
Yeah, that's it. That's what they need. They need a go-to scorer star. And we'll see what they do, man. Those guys make a lot of money to make these decisions. So you have to see what happens, man. That's for sure.
Yeah, it is funny because I didn't grow up in Orlando, but I've been here for a long time. But it is funny how you do see a lot of the people that are Orlando lifers. They really got excited about this pick.
Yeah,
and it's like, God, I felt like a wet blanket. I'm like, this is not really the great draft to be excited about.